This is WYMT Mountain News First at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Steve Hensley. First at 4, two breaking stories. We first want to go to Perry County, where an accident in the construction zone on Highway 15 in Hazard injured a woman earlier this afternoon. Police are still asking you to avoid the area near Double Quick. WYMT's Connor James is live at that scene with more on what we know. Connor?
Yeah, Steve, the area is just clearing out right now. Earlier, that wasn't the case. A heavy police presence here as officials were trying to reconstruct that scene. We are told it was one of the flaggers here that have been working on construction along Kentucky 15 with all those projects they've been going on. She was hit by a co-worker in her pickup truck. Again, a very busy scene earlier. We're still trying to gather exactly what her condition is. We do know she was flown out at this time. And like I said, police have been doing work to try to figure out what exactly led to this. Again, details are limited at this time. We're hoping to update all that on our website, WYMT.com, as we get more information. We'll also be able to post that later on in the newscast. I'll have much more coming up later on. I'm in Perry County, Connor James, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, Connor, just to reiterate, the traffic is moving smoothly now, so you can move through that area?
Yes, you can drive through this area. Traffic is a lot smoother than it was earlier, but yeah, you should be able to drive fine. Don't expect too many delays other than that caused by construction.
All right. Obviously, the construction zone there have been ongoing for quite some time and still a long way to go. Connor, thank you very much. Well, we want to tell you about some more breaking news right now in Harlan County. A couple were flown to the hospital with life-threatening injuries after a house fire. It's still unknown if anyone else was inside. This happened in the Tots community. We have a reporter at the scene. We're having some trouble getting a signal out of that rural area, but as soon as we get that, we'll take you to our Justin Case, who is at the scene of this house fire where at least two people were flown out earlier. We understand a husband and wife. It's still unclear if anyone else was inside that home. Again, this is in the Tots community. We will get you more information on that as we get it. Well, a man has serious injuries after a fight got violent early yesterday morning. Deputies in Laurel County arrested Charles Ray Vanover. He is facing an assault charge. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more on that.
The 25-year-old suspect remains here in the Laurel County Detention Center. He is charged with first-degree assault, but police are telling us that he caused very serious, in fact, life-threatening injuries to a 32-year-old man. And this all was the result of a late-night party from Saturday night into Sunday morning that drifted into around 6 o'clock Sunday morning. Now, police tell us that the 32-year-old victim was severely cut with a pocket knife and is now being treated at UK Hospital in Lexington. Police arrested Charles Ray Vanover. Now, we're told that neither the suspect nor the victim lived at the home where the violence happened, and they're not going to release what the motive was for the argument between the two.
And we went out there, and when we got there, we found a man in the kitchen that had been cut severely about the head, neck, and back. And they airlifted him from the scene to Lexington.
Jail staff asked Charles Ray Vanover for us if he'd like to talk to us and give us his side of the story, but he declined. Right now, he is charged with first-degree assault. Police say those charges will likely be upgraded should the victim die. In Laurel County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Deputies tell us they do not plan to charge anyone else in this case. Another explosion rocked Sri Lanka's capital city a day after suicide bombers unleashed a string of attacks targeting Christians celebrating Easter. Nearly 300 people were killed, including several Americans. Authorities blame a local group of Muslim radicals for yesterday's attack on Easter Sunday. The terror continued today when a van exploded as police were trying to defuse a bomb. It happened outside a church where a blast killed worshipers the day before.
This is a very sad moment. This is a very cowardly attack, and it's not just an attack. It's a very gruesome attack on humanity.
Sri Lankan special forces raided several places in the capital and arrested 24 people.
and it was a beautiful Monday today, and that continues as we head into your Tuesday as well. You'll notice here as we take a look at some of our cameras not dealing with any clouds in the sky and those beautiful blue skies, and even everything looking so green after the soggy weekend we had. And if you're looking into downtown Whitesburg on our MCHC camera, you'll notice those blue skies and of course the green trees all around the area. Satellite and radar, you'll notice really nothing, not having to deal with any clouds or any rain chances. It's a beautiful day today. Good news is that continues into at least a little bit of your Tuesday. Temperatures, they're pretty warm. You're noticing those lower 70s, Pikeville, Prestonsburg, Logan, and Wise, but the rest of us are anywhere from those mid to upper 70s. It is feeling great outside, and compared to this time yesterday, well, we've warmed up quite a bit, especially for Hazard, Jackson, Pikeville, and Prestonsburg, almost about 20 degrees warmer. The good news is we'll warm up even more as we head into your Tuesday. So as we head throughout the night tonight, we'll be looking at a calm and clear night ahead. Warm Tuesday ahead. We're going to be near 80 degrees. Scattered rain chances, of course, return back to the forecast. I'll have that coming up in just a little bit. Steve.
All right. Thank you, Paige. One of the region's largest employers opened another facility today. Pikeville Medical Center held a ribbon cutting for primary care building. WYMT's Marianne Fletcher got a tour of the new facility.
This 12-exam room primary care facility is located directly behind the main Pikeville Medical Center building.
This has been a project that's been going on now for about the past year.
Investing more than $811,000. Pikeville Medical Center CEO Donovan Blackburn says he is excited for the clinic to begin accepting patients.
You know, the hospital is the largest employer in the region with over 3,000 employees. Making investments like this,
the clinic is adding 4 new jobs and 2 physician positions.
Because it's not just about the doctor, it's also about the clerk that's sitting at the counter, the receptionist, the person that's taking the order. I mean, it goes on and on.
Pike County native Robert Shurtleff is a physician at the new primary care clinic.
The hospital was tiny, and now, you don't have to go anywhere else. You can stay right here.
He says he is thankful to be able to live in the mountains and do what he loves.
I can remember back when, there was almost nothing in Pikeville, back when Walmart wasn't there.
Officials say they began taking patients at 1. In Pike County, Marianne Fletcher, WYMT Mountain News.
The new primary care clinic was part of Pikeville Medical Center's big announcements back in November. You might remember that. And those announcements included a children's hospital and a Starbucks coffee shop. President Donald Trump says he is not worried about impeachment as Democrats huddle to figure out the next steps days after the release of the Mueller report. The calls intensified for impeachment after a redacted version of special counsel Mueller's report was released last week. However, Democrats declined an invitation to see a less redacted version of the report. Some Republicans are now getting their first look.
To not come here and take advantage of the Attorney General and his offer, to me, says that they're not more worried about what's in the report. They're more worried about actually scoring political points.
Meanwhile, the president is also suing the head of the House Oversight Committee to block a subpoena of his financial records. The lawsuit called the subpoena invalid and unenforceable. Senator and Democratic presidential candidate Elizabeth Warren is unveiling her plan to eliminate most student debt. Under the plan, $50,000 in student loans would be forgiven for all Americans living in households earning less than $100,000 a year. According to Warren's campaign, that would provide relief to more than 95% of the 45 million Americans dealing with student debt. Let's head over to Wall Street now on this Monday afternoon. The Dow closes down today more than 48 points. Straight ahead on First at 4, today is Earth Day, and officials say climate change is threatening a vital source of water for 3 million Americans.
And sunshine continues, but for how long? We'll break down that full forecast in just a few short minutes.